Hello and welcome to the Geeks Review. I'm Royce.
I'm Matt.
I'm Holly.
I'm Aaron.
Today we're going to be discussing musicals. Musicals, I'm not a fan, but these guys are. They love musicals. That's not a thing. I'm just saying they know stuff and they're here to talk about stuff about it.
I can understand why a lot of people find musicals impenetrable. I was kind of born into a musical family, so I love them from the start. But I can understand why the idea of watching a story that gets interrupted, like people can see it as a story getting interrupted by a song and dance, and that can annoy some people. Like I talked a few weeks ago about The Greatest Showman. Story is often interrupted, so there can be a pop song. But yes, a good musical, the songs will move the story.
And the audience.
Yeah.
Like Mamma Mia,
Poetry,
here we go again.
Yes, very quickly want to touch upon that. So Mamma Mia was a jukebox musical using the music of ABBA. It was on Broadway, it was a big thing. And then it became a movie in 2008 with Meryl Streep, Amanda Seyfried, and, Pierce Brosnan, Stellan Skarsgård, and Colin Firth, Christine Baranski, basically the whole cast.
Just everyone.
It's a fun movie, and I enjoyed it back in the day. And, it was really my first exposure to ABBA, and sort of the creation of many fantastic, wonderful radio plays came from that. And Yetta, basically, is where that came from. Spoilers.
What?
But Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again is a completely original sequel directed by Ol Parker, and it's an interesting film, which is both a sequel and a prequel. So you're dealing with Meryl Streep's character, Donna, as a young woman played by Lily James. And it's mostly set in the 70s and all that. And it is just so surprisingly well done, I think, in regards to what you could do with pre-existing songs to try and get emotion and wrap a story around it and integrate them in a naturalistic way that feels like it really works and you get emotion out of the song. And the camera work as well, and the production and the performances. I mean, I was like, Lily James looks nothing like Meryl Streep, but then she opened her mouth and you're like, okay, don't need to worry.
Yeah,
she
you're like,
sounds
oh,
the part.
she's Meryl Streep, okay.
Yeah, it works. And the young actors they have as well playing the younger guys, and everyone as well, is just spot on.
Special shout out to the guy who played young Harry.
Yes.
Who is basically a Matt Smith looking knockoff, and I love him. He was very talented.
Yes.
And the girl who plays the young Tanya, she was actually the first Heather Chandler on the off-Broadway production of Heathers the Musical.
Yes. Yeah,
which, if you're into actual musical theatre on stage, I would recommend finding a illegal version of it.
A bootleg is what they
There's
call
no
them.
recorded version of it, so there are clips of it that are bootlegged.
Yes.
So.
And as well, just very quickly, sorry, Harry.
Also good.
Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again. Also, sorry, Mamma Mia makes the best of who they have. So Pierce Brosnan does his best in the first one, trying to sing, does about as well as I did when I was in Rocky Horror. I'll get to that in a sec. Yeah, he's not a very strong singer. What was the song he sung? SOS?
SOS. When you're gone. That's what he does, because he tries to push it.
Yeah. But the second one just uses him in such a good way.
The reprise.
The reprise made me cry.
Yeah, it is such
Genuinely.
an emotional, well done bit.
It's
And
amazing.
they chose to do something really smart, which was to record him live.
Yes.
So it's very obviously live, so it doesn't matter whether
And
he's not
they
awesome.
slowed it down and took it down
it
the
down.
octave. So he's
Yeah.
basically speaking it.
And he's singing to himself, essentially. That's,
It's beautiful.
yeah, it's surprising and it was really intelligently done. And then they just drown him out with the ensemble.
And also,
And
a good point about Mamma Mia 2 is that Meryl Streep doesn't do sequels. There's a reason why her character, spoiler alert, is killed off in the second one. And so they don't actually have her. But she never does sequels. She refuses. She came back.
if
This
only
is
for
the
one
first
thing.
time she's come back for a sequel.
Oh, really?
She comes
Wow.
back at the very, very end and does a really beautiful piece with Amanda Seyfried, which is stunning. Because
Yeah.
no one was expecting to see her.
No.
And then all of a sudden you turn around and she's like, hello!
Well, it's
I'm
like
back.
she was going to be in it, but she had like scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which-
it was
But it makes for a
really
much more emotional.
Definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
And if we're going to continue with our theme of celebrities being shoved into movie musicals, Cher did not need to be in that film.
But
Fernando.
I'm not complaining.
I am complaining.
Fernando, though.
No, I hated it. I'm sorry. Like, it was... Because, like, Mamma Mia... A lot of people think the Mamma Mia story is garbage. And for the most part, it's very thin. But I love the idea, you know, that it doesn't matter who your dad is as long as you love them. That kind of thing. Like, that's beautiful. But the second one, because it wasn't adapted from a stage show that kind of sucked, the second one was a whole new story.
It's
and
a retcon, massive retcon.
And it was actually like a very beautiful story, the second film. But then they just shove Cher in there, and I don't care about her, and she's annoying.
My favourite part is that she plays Meryl Streep's mum when she's only 3 years older than Meryl Streep in real life, and it's like...
Yeah.
Is that an insult to Cher, or is that
And I wouldn't have minded.
a compliment?
I wouldn't have minded perhaps Cher making like I guess you could say it's a cameo, but it goes for 10 minutes. But she's just in there too long, and she's too annoying.
But Fernando was beautiful.
When they incorporated that, the cinema I was in, everyone was like, "Of course, that's how they're gonna do it, right?" It's also a weird one because it's only set a year after the original movie, but it's made 10 years after the fact, and everyone kind of looks the same.
Yeah.
It's only set a year later.
It is, yeah.
It's set 5 years in the future, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very strange. The first film was made in 2008, and it feels very 2008. But Sophie says she's 20, and the second film, the prequel, is set in 1979 when Donna gets pregnant. So Sophie was born in 1980, which means the first film is set in 2000, which means Here We Go Again is 2005.
Yeah. So I think she says she's 25 in the second one.
Right. It's just weird. I guess because, the Broadway musical was set, came out many years before, and then
It was in the 90s. Yeah.
Right.
It's
Gosh,
weird.
Let Aaron talk about Sweeney Todd.
Sorry.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. You talk about Sweeney Todd.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah. I was prepared to just end it, but...
If you don't have anything... But it's probably too much for Royce to cut through then, so if you don't really have anything more to say...
Yeah, I don't want to...
Also, don't end it. Your life is worth living.
Basically, Sweeney Todd sum up is Sweeney Todd, better than everyone says, stop ragging on the two leads because they do a great job.
Johnny
Go
Depp
away.
is good.
Yeah, it's good.
Just because he doesn't fit the original Broadway sound recording doesn't mean he's not good. Exactly the same as Into the Woods. Johnny Depp is good, okay?
My only issue with Sweeney Todd, though, is they don't have the Tale of Sweeney Todd.
You've heard Tim Burton's justification for that?
I think, yeah, I have.
He's like, why listen to a song about attending the Tale of Sweeney Todd when I can just do it?
When you can just show it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get, yeah, but they do have it in the instrumental.
It could have been it's the over the title sequence. So they could have done a creative choreographed title sequence with lyrics. And that way it wouldn't have been wasting time, and there would have been time for the credits anyway.
Sweeney Todd is not it's not the first performance that Johnny Depp does where he sings on screen. Just putting that out there, everyone thinks it is, but he was in Cry Baby. And he sings, there's a particular song in Cry Baby that he sings, and he does a good job. So anyone else saying that Sweeney Todd was his first musical performance and, he's bad, no. Go educate yourselves. Anyway.
Well, does that wrap up this week's episode of the Geeks Review?
I hope so. Thank you for listening to this very long two-parter. We'll be back next week. Tune in for that. I'm Royce.
I'm Matt.
I'm Holly.
And I'm Aaron.
And we'll see you next week.